Okay guys, it's Gunrunner 7271. We've been pretty busy today. We got 25 pounds of rice bagged and tagged, 25 pounds of flour, and 25 pounds of sugar. Also, we have blanched and started our dehydrator of, these are summer squash. So we blanched them for 3 minutes, and then we got a whole dehydrator full. So we've been pretty busy. At this time, I'm going to take a second here, and we're going to show you our process of bagging, mylar bagging and bucketing up our rice. We got another 25 pounds of rice we're going to do. Okay guys, we're back. We got a 25 pound bag of basmati rice, and what I like to do is cut the tag off the bag itself. And these bags are reusable. Although they're from India, it's hard to find some rice that's grown here in the United States. So, you know, we just have to deal with it and hope for the best. The bags are reusable if you're into recycling, shopping at Aldi's or whatever. Look, once you work around here, we were going to do beans. We got, I don't know, pounds and pounds of beans here, but they're just not enough to do, we need a whole lot more beans. To do at least one bucket, we need a tremendous amount of beans. There's just not enough beans to do a bucket justice, so they'll have to stay there dry for now. We do have a bag on standby here. These are mylar bags from Emergency Essentials, 10 for 15 bucks. We have also some oxygen absorbers. The first one I'm not real happy with. The first ones that we bagged, the oxygen absorbers are working, as you can see, for that sound. They just didn't reach the type of, the seal was fine, it just didn't suck in the bag like it should have. So I'm a little disappointed by it. And I think that's because the level of oxygen absorbers I put in wasn't enough. So I'm going to put in 2 now. I'm going to pour half the rice in. Okay, now I'm going to put 2 more in, maybe 3. 3. Then I'm going to pour the rest of the rice in. This stuff has a plastic bag liner in it, so, you know, but the plastic bag does have a hole in it, a punched hole to let the rice breathe. So that's the reason we're transferring it. We're going to settle that out. Now you can put more rice in here. You could probably put 10 pounds more rice in here, but for the purposes of demonstration and me getting this done, I'm going to take 3 or 4 and put on top. They're cheap. They're 10 bucks for 100. They're a dime a piece. I always seal them back up in a mason jar when I'm done, and I just take this and I fold it over. Keep folding it, and I've got a 2x4. I didn't really get too fancy. And my iron's not all that great, so I had to keep finagling with the iron. Sweetie, you might want to step around here. I try to get all the air out that I can. And like I say, my iron's not that great, so it may stick. And the way I plug it in, and I have to unplug it and then plug it in. And then I just have to keep moving it. Because if I don't keep moving it, it will scorch the bag. I ruined one bag this morning, and I've been vowing not to get the iron too hot. Okay, that's almost hot enough, but not quite. So I'll plug it back in a second. I know, I need a better iron. This is kind of a pain in the butt, but you do what you gotta do, you know? Not that money is a concern here. I was just doing with what I had, you know? And this is my first attempt at bagging. So, for a first attempt, I feel that I've done okay today, but I could do better. Like I say, I see it scorched the bag, and I just plugged it in. The iron is not the greatest iron in the world. It's very sensitive to heat, and that is on the lowest setting available. So, what I'll do is start over, as I've done already once today. I was a little reluctant to do this on video, but it just goes to show you that things can and do go wrong. Now, what I could do is move my board down a little more. That'll work. We'll just move the board down a little more and then seal up from there. Okay? And I like to use the back of the iron. It's very heat sensitive. The bags are very heat sensitive, and the iron gets too hot too quickly. So what we do, there's our spot that's bad. We just push the bag a little farther over. There we go. And that spot is now sealed up. Okay. Now, we're going to keep going down through here. And we just keep moving down about a ½ inch at a time, letting the plastic cool off. And you can feel that the plastic is very hot when this iron comes off of it. And then, once we get done with sealing it from this side, we'll go back while the iron is still warm, and we'll seal it from the reverse side. We'll flip the board and the plastic bag over, and we will seal it from the back side. Okay, so that's what we're doing this weekend. Is we're blanching vegetables and packing stuff away for long-term storage. We have plenty of stuff, what I would term our short-term storage. You've seen our storage pantry, our food pantry. One of my big goals is to work on longer-term storage. Things like rice and beans and sugar, salt, flour, hard red wheat. Our hard red wheat comes already pre-packaged this way, so we get it in 6-gallon super pails from Montana Wheat. But I can tell you that, and they have a professional sealer do theirs. They have the Teflon seals and all that. I can tell you that one of the things that we're trying to do is get to a point where the iron's starting to cool off now. We're trying to get to a point where we have long-term storage and we have short-term storage, and short-term storage can be mixed with some of your long-term storage for, you know, to stretch things out. Okay. Yeah, I'm going to plug it in just for a second again. Just give it a little heat, and then we'll keep it moving. Okay, You ought to be able to touch it for about 1 second. Any more than that, it might be too hot. And again, like I say, my iron's on its lowest setting here, and should leave a little print. See how it smooths out right there? That's a good set. So we're going to have to get it back on the heat. And most folks don't have to do this. Most folks have a good iron with a Teflon coating that goes down to a good heat setting, a good low heat setting. Because if you melt the bag, you would also melt permanent pressed clothes. This iron is a $6.99 special, and it's what I had available to me at this very moment. So you know, I'm just making do with what I have. Let's test. Yeah, we're getting a little stick there. We're going to have to let it cool just a slight. So okay, now's the best time to flip it over, and you can tell we got a good seal through and through because the bag is slightly wrinkled. Looks like aluminum foil on this side as well, but we're nonetheless going to go over it just to ensure that we got a good seal. Now, I'm no means an expert here. I learned how to do this morning on YouTube, because this is part of my preps that I've been putting off for a while. And while we went and bought all the stuff, the materials, it was just something I wasn't real sure about. Wow, that's hot. That's good and sealed. That's hot. And again, my daughter's teaching, or my daughter's learning because she's watching and holding a video camera. Are we learning anything, sweetie?
Yeah.
Okay. So she'll be able to help in the future. Prepper RN and myself. And again, this is something she can pass down to her kids. Okay. Now, I feel this is one of the best ones we've done all day. Even though we had a little mishap, we still sealed around that mishap. There's where the mishap was. There's right in here. There's no evidence that we have anything but a good seal now. And one way to tell, the bag is still holding air. So when we come back, this bag should be sucked in with the amount of oxygen absorbers. Now I don't know how long that'll take, whether that'll be 15 minutes to an hour, or whether that'll be 5 or 6 hours. But we did use fresh oxygen absorbers from the LDS cannery, and we just opened them this morning. And probably I did not use enough in those other 3, but I felt I used enough to get the job done, and it did work. It just didn't work as well as I thought. So we'll come back and see how this is going. When we get done, the bag should be sucked in, and if it's not, I'm thinking I didn't use enough oxygen absorbers, because we do have a good seal. It is holding air, so we do have a good seal. You know, it's you can see how it's ballooning up here, so it is holding air. So all we're doing now is waiting for the O2 absorbers to suck it out. Okay? Alright, we'll see you on the flip side here. And for now, we're just going to let that sit and rest. Okay? Okay guys, it's Gunrunner 7271. We're back for the final process here. We did have a good seal. And again, this only has 25 pounds of rice in it. I think you can conservatively go up to 40 per bucket. This doesn't look like it's very long, right? Well, after the seal, there's several inches left. And what I did was cut this several inches off for one specific reason. So that I can test this week, get me a couple irons and test and take one back, you know, take them back as I find out whether they work or they don't work. It has to be a certain setting on it. And one other thing, that you saw me cut the label off the bag early. This has instructions on it if you're using a rice cooker or just an open pot or even a microwave. This is important so you know what kind of rice as well as the nutritional value so that you can determine how much you're going to need. Okay, again, this all worked out well. What I do is I throw that right on top, and that tells anyone who opens it what exactly that it is. Okay, this will help you keep, and you know what, if you're so inclined, you could photocopy this and use clear tape and tape this right on the front of the bucket. That might not be a bad idea either. Okay, but at least that way you have an idea what you're looking at and what's in it. So, hey guys, this is Gunrunner 7271 saying stay prepped. Thanks.